In a quiet village nestled between green hills and golden fields lived a young boy named Eli. He was thin, his clothes worn from time and travel, and his shoes were barely more than scraps. Eli wasn't from the village. He was a wanderer, walking from town to town in search of work, food, or even a kind smile. The people of the village didn't know his name. To them, he was just that poor boy. Some turned away when they saw him coming. Others whispered, thinking he might steal or bring trouble. But Eli wasn't bad. He was just hungry, tired, and lost, inside and out. One cold morning, Eli woke up shivering under a tree. The sun hadn't fully risen, and his stomach growled painfully. He had not eaten a proper meal in 2 days. With dry lips and trembling hands, he decided to knock on a few doors and ask for something, anything, to eat. The first door he knocked on slammed shut the moment they saw him. The second offered nothing but a frown. The third door didn't open at all. By now, Eli was ready to give up. His hope had crumbled like the crust of bread he longed for. With aching feet and a heart heavy like stone, he knocked on one last door before collapsing. To his surprise, the door creaked open slowly. A young girl, no older than 10, peeked out. Her eyes were wide with curiosity, not fear. She wore a simple dress and had flour on her hands. She had been helping her mother bake. Eli hesitated. He had meant to ask for just a piece of bread or a few leftover crumbs. But the lump in his throat stopped him. Could I have a glass of water?" he whispered. The girl saw how pale he was, how his eyes sunk deep into his face, and how his hands shook from weakness. Without a word, she turned and disappeared inside. Eli waited, leaning against the wall for support. When she returned, she held not just a glass of water, but a tall glass of milk. It was fresh, cool, and filled to the brim. "Here," she said softly, handing it to him. "You look like you need it." Eli stared at it, overwhelmed. No one had shown him such kindness in weeks. He took the glass carefully, his fingers brushing hers. "Thank you," he said, voice cracking. He drank the milk slowly, savoring each drop like it was liquid gold. For that moment, the world felt warmer, softer, less cruel. When he finished, he tried to give the glass back and asked, "How much do I owe you?" The girl shook her head with a smile. "Mama says kindness doesn't need a price." Tears welled in Eli's eyes, but he blinked them away. "Then tell your mama. She raised an angel." And with that, he walked away, stronger, not just in body but in heart. Years passed. The little girl grew up and left the village for the city to study nursing. She became known for her gentle hands and even gentler heart. Her name was Anna, and she always remembered the boy who looked at her like she had saved his whole world with just a glass of milk. One stormy night, in that same city, a man was brought into the hospital, unconscious, bruised, and terribly sick. The doctors gathered, unsure if he would survive. His condition was rare, and his case complicated. Anna, now a senior nurse, saw him lying there and felt something stir in her heart. She didn't recognize his face, worn and changed by age and pain, but something about him felt familiar. She took care of him every day. She adjusted his pillows, monitored his medicine, and sometimes when no one was watching, held his hand while he slept. He had no family, no name on the records, no money. The doctors were hesitant to continue treatment, but Anna insisted. "Everyone deserves care. We will find a way." Weeks later, the man slowly opened his eyes. His first sight was Anna's warm smile. He tried to speak, but only managed a whisper. "Water." Anna quickly fetched a glass and helped him drink. When he finished, he looked at her and blinked. Then he said something that sent shivers down her spine. "You remind me of a girl who gave me milk. Once, long ago." Anna gasped softly, her hand covering her mouth. "And you asked for water." They stared at each other, memories colliding like the sun and moon. Tears filled both their eyes. They didn't speak more that day, but their silence was louder than words. Eventually, the man, Eli, recovered. Anna never told him how the hospital bills had been paid. She had reached out to private donors, taken extra shifts, and even paid part from her savings. When the final bill was tallied, the hospital administrator sent it to Eli, marked Paid in Full. On the bottom was a handwritten note: 1 glass of milk paid in full, with love. Anna. Eli wept when he read it, not because of the kindness, but because he finally understood the true power of one small act. A glass of milk had changed his life, and now he had been given the chance to live again. From that day forward, Eli vowed to live with the same kindness Anna had shown him. He volunteered at shelters, spoke at schools, and told his story to children. He always ended the tale the same way. Kindness is like milk. It seems simple, but it nourishes the soul in ways you'll never forget.